Hi, today we are here together to have a look at three apps or website that you can use to make your class interactive. They could be used either during the class, online or face-to-face, or as homework, so that the homework are actually more interactive. Now, these three apps are Learningappps, Wordwall, and Quizlet. Learningappps and Wordwall are very similar, meaning that they follow the same principle. They have some differences, but they kind of the same product. Now, for Learningappps and Wordwall, you can create a free account, but your free account will give you limited power of creating activities. Now, in Wordwall, 5 free activities that you can create. In Learningappps, there might be a little bit more, but in both cases, you will be stopped at one point. Now, this is not a massive issue, meaning that what I personally do, I created different accounts with different emails that I have. And the plus side is that each activity that you will create will have a link, a direct link to the activity. So let's say that I create 5 activities on Wordwall with my profile that is called Giacomo. Now, once I created these 5 activities, unless I want to change them, but if I don't want to change it, I'm happy with what they are, I don't need to log in anymore with that account, but I simply save the link to those activities and give the link to my students or keep it for myself, and use the activity in that way. And then create a new account if I need to create more activities. If I want to actually change an activity because I notice a misspelled, or I want to change some, I don't know, it's an activity on verbs and I want to add or remove some verbs, then I need to log in again to the account and actually edit my activity. But that is not, if you don't have to change it, then you can completely forget about that account and just keep saved the link, the direct link to the activity. So, what are those activities I am talking about? These activities are different depending on which website you choose. So, Learningappps has some what are called actually apps that you can create, while Wordwall has different ones. And they also have some stuff in common they are very similar to each other. Learningappps also allows you to search for apps created by others on topics. So, for example, here I wrote Italian and I have all these apps that I can use that have been created by someone else. Or otherwise, I can create my own. Now, let's start having a look at one app that I created myself. So I have this app that is about articles in Italian in a song. So here, their task is to fill up the text with the right articles and then check with the song if what they chose was right. So here, for example, they need to choose between these articles, and is gli, here, I don't know, is il, etc., etc. And when I finished, I can simply click on play and listen to the song and see if I was right. So this is one of the apps that you can create. But how do you create the app? You simply go to Create App. And as you can see, you have few templates that you can choose from. In this case, my one with a song was a closed text, but we can create different type of apps and styles. Let's say that I want a matching pairs. Matching pairs when you choose an app, it will give you some examples. So here, for example, you have example one, find a suitable definition for the following expression on globalization. So I need to take the word and match it with whatever I believe is the right definition. So in this case, poverty, here it is, poverty becomes green and disappears. If I match it with something that is wrong, is red, and I have to divide it again to try to match it again with something else. And here we have, for example, in example 3, we have time. So someone who is learning about times, how to read the clock. Once it's clear what, if you like, the app that you choose, you then click on Create New App. Here you have the title, let's say food items. Here, match the image with the definition. And then here we are, we need to create the first pair. So let's say image, I can choose between either drag and drop or browse the image. Let's put apple. Okay, here we have an apple. I use this image and then text apple. Now I can click add another element to have another pair. So here, and I put peach. Here it is. Use this. And for example, in this case, I can put text to speech. So I will write peach. See, and there is an opportunity to listen to the word. And for the student that will do this activity, he will not see the word peach, but he only sees audio A, audio B, audio C, etc. So we'll have to listen to the word and then match it. We can also add wrong items. So for example, I put an image of, let's say, a pen. And I add another element, melon. Then here I choose to make matching pair disappears when they correct, so that it doesn't get too crowded. You can have cards one above the other or one alongside the other. This is the feedback when they got it right. Finish and see the preview. This is the preview. So here you see I have the audio. That was the one that I chose for pair. I was peach, sorry. And here you see I have melon. Wrong. Then I have apple, and that is correct. Then I have peach, correct, and it says, okay, perfect, you found the solution, because the other two that were left, they were the wrong ones. So they are not taken into account. Then if I'm happy with what I create, I click on Save App, and it will give me also the page with all the app and the link underneath. In this case, I'm not interested on saving it, but I'll show you once you go to your app. Okay, you see the link that you can share and save. You also have a QR code if you want. So if, for example, I take this link, I can go here and go directly to my app. So I can give this one to my students. Now, this app can be used as a homework, but could be used also in class to do some activities. Of course, some activities are more easy to do in class rather than others. For example, in Wordwall, that works exactly the same. So you create activities. Now I already reached my top, so I cannot create anymore. But you see, you have a matchup, you have quiz, you have random wheel, missing words, group sort, random cards. You have so many, and they are a bit different from the one that you have on the other website. Be careful that here, this one, they cannot be created with the free account. The free account only allows you to create this one on top. But for example, if I go on my activities, here I have the cards. The cards, I use them in class, in an online class, or even in person class, asking to one of the students to have his device and go to the link that I'm giving to them. And this one is allows me in face-to-face to avoid to having to print billion cards and bring it to the class, but actually I give them a verb with a subject and they need to conjugate it in turn, like if they are in couple and they have to practice in this way the conjugation of the verb. I just need to tell them the tenses. Or if you want, you could also, in the card, you could also write the tense underneath. So, lei, prendere, present tense, past tense, conditional, or whatever you want. So this one is one. Also, what you can do, for example, it's using the wheel. Here I have questions. So this is, I use it as a prompt for conversation. So they spin the wheel, they get a question. In this case, is to practice the past tense. So what have you done the first day of the year? Once they answer, both of the students in the pair, they answer the question, then they can eliminate the question and then spin again. So they always, they will not go on the same question over and over. The good thing of this word wall is also that you can change the type of app once you create it. So you see, you can switch templates. So instead of having random wheel, you can have the open box. So open box, it's nothing specific. I mean, it's nothing much different. But basically, instead of spinning the wheel, you will click on the box and you will have the question. What have you done yesterday after dinner? And then you go and you click in turn and you click on different boxes. Also, for example, some of the switch templates, they might not be very useful for what you created the activity for. But let's take an example with the anagram. So I created the activity as a conversation prompt. So there are questions so they can converse. But I want to go a step further. So I switched to anagram. And here I have the question that is jumbled. So not only I will have to answer the question, but first I have to create the question. So I go with COSA, cosa hai fatto. Oh, come on. Oh. What you done yesterday. Yeah. Yes. So now I have the question, cosa hai fatto ieri? Perfect. I answer with my pair, with my colleague, with the other student. We answer the question, and then we go to the next one. And now we need to recreate the next question. So this is very like a step forward, a step more complicated for the exercises. So I'm not only asking them to converse, but also I'm asking them to figure it out, the words. So both, as you can see, when I went to create an activity, it told me that you have 5 of your 5 resources. So I can't create it more with this account. I will have to create a new account. Be careful that 5, it means the amount of activities that you created. If you erase one, it doesn't matter. There will still be 5. So if you create one activity and then you erased, it's not going back to 0, but it will still be you already created one activity. So you still have 4 left. In fact, here it says that I used 5 up to 5, the one I have. But if you go in my activities, I actually have only 4 because I created one that then later on I decided it didn't work, so I canceled it. I could have actually, instead of cancel it, I could have edited, because that it's possible. So you can go back to your activity that you created and simply edit it. But in that case, I decided to just erase it. And then if I want to create more activities, I will have to go to create a new profile with a dummy email. So these are these two website, very useful website, Learningapp and Wordwall. Another app that is very useful, a website that is very useful, is Quizlet. Quizlet is a website that allows you to create flashcards. Even here, you can create your own account for free. As a teacher, you don't have a limit on the set that you can create, but you do have a limit on things that you can do in the set, and also if you have the upgrade version, you can follow your students, who is studying, who doesn't, what are the words that they might get more right, which one less right. But in general, it's easy to use as a free user, and the student, they don't have to have a pay account. They can have a free account as well, but they need to have an account in order to use it. While with Learningapps and Wordwall, in order to use it, you don't need an account. For Quizlet, your student will have to sign up for a free account in order to use it with many features. Now, what is Quizlet? Quizlet is an app that allows you to create flashcards. Now, these flashcards can be used in different ways. Now, let's say that now I created these flashcards with profession in Italian. So as you can see here, I have the definition in Italian, the definition in English, with a picture. I could have chosen to only use the picture rather than the definition. That would have worked as well. So as you can see here, I have l'architetto, and then if I click, I can have my answer. Now, the student will click on flashcard if they want to practice the flashcard, but they also have different options that you as a teacher as well have. So, for example, you have this learn. So what is the goal? Memorize it all. Continue. How well do you know this material? It's all new to me. So now is going to create this type of question. So round 1, architect. What is this? I put pompiere, wrong. No problem, you're still learning. And then you go, lawyer, l'avvocato, perfect. And then you go on. That's one of the, you have round 1, round 2, so it makes you repeat quite a few times, and it will give you the one that you tend to make mistakes more often. Or you have test. Test, it's a nice feature, not just for the student, but for the teacher as well. Because test, it creates an actual test. So For example, you want answer in Italian, maximum question, and you can select, there can be maximum 33, but you can select even less, so let's say 25, multiple choice, matching, written, I don't want any written, and then I start the test. So here I have the test that I can do it online, but the good part is that you can also print it. Why is good if you can print the text? You see, here it is, the print version of it. This is good because, for example, what I do in class, I print the test, I give it to groups of students that they have to do the test together on words that we never seen before. So completely new words. And they have to figure it out the answer. So they will think about it. They will try to figure it out with the things that they know. I might mix some words that they know and some words that they don't in order for them to be able to exclude some answer and some not, and see what they come up with. Also, the thing is that it uses always the same words. So, for example, you have 8 true and false questions, but then the similar question could be also inside the multiple choice. So, if they can go by exclusion. So, once that they answer to this, then they have a double check on the multiple choice question and see cross the different question and say, okay, here I answer true, so would it is actually true? And if let's say I answer here that hairdresser, it means cassiera, and I said yes, and then in the following question I have hairdresser and cassiera is not one of the options, then I know that I was wrong in the previous one, so I have to revise my previous question, my previous answer. So this, it might be a very good way to learn and to discover new material in class. Although this is not the main purpose of the exercise. Theoretically, is to do it online and the student study by himself, but you can use it in this way also in class. Then they also have match. This one can be done as a homework. Basically, they have to match things together. So architect, l'architetto, and etc. And there is a timer, so they can challenge each other. Okay, how long it takes you, between students, or challenge themselves. So some of the features are available for free, some others only if you have a pro account. In order to create some sets, you just click on plus, and then you put on study set. So you want to create a study set from scratch or from notes, because you could have a Excel file that you will put inside and it will create things for you. But let's say from scratch. We give the title, we give a description. You see, here you have the term that you want to use. Choose the language that it's on it. Choose language, Italian, and definition. Choose language, English. The definition is, if I click on image, I can upload my own image with the Pro. Otherwise, I can choose for free an image that is given by Quizlet. Okay, and then I do all the one that I want. I can keep adding cards as many as I want, and then I click on create. So that's about all that you can do with Quizlet. This is a very powerful tool for your classes, both as a homework, but also in class, as I showed you with the test feature. And also the test feature is very useful because they learn with the test in class, but then they have the exact same flashcard sets with the exact same words to study at home. So it's a nice way to translate whatever you did in class in homework. Also, um, one thing that you can do in Quizlet is to organize your sets in folders. So, for example, in my case, I have folders for beginner 1, beginner 2, beginner 3, B1, A2. So I divided in folder according to the level of the students. And also, when you do a set and you use the normal flashcards, the student can choose either to start with English or Italian, and also what they could do, they can listen. So this is a text to speech. So and it's quite good. So it trains them also on pronunciation, and they can start a card that is the card that they find it more difficult. In this way, the one that they get with the star, they can practice only the star one. So once they get confident on, let's say it's a set of 50 words, once that they get comfortable with some of them, they can start the other and only practice the one that they have a star on it. In this way, they don't have to go through the whole set every time and repeating words that by now they know. And with options, you can say, okay, answer with Italian or answer with English. And if you want the audio to play straight away. So, for example, because it exists, the app on your phone, what sometimes my students do, they put the audio automated and they let the card going on like in automation, so they don't have to click on it, but they just go. They say the definition and the solution, definition, solution, and etc., 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 and they play it while they're doing something else. So they're cooking or they're taking a shower, and in the meantime, the app goes on and repeating you the words. In this, you can also choose the speed. So in that way, the student can practice even if he's not in front of the computer or in front of the phone. He put the phone somewhere, and while he's cooking, the phone repeats it, and then they can repeat with the phone. So I think I told you everything. So I hope you will enjoy these three websites, and you will be able to use them in class. Have a happy class. Bye bye.